Welcome to Open Mat Chronicles. You guys saw the thumbnail. You guys know what time it is. Let's just get into this. What kind of an instructor are you? Schaefer, that's kind of what we were talking about, right? We're talking about like everybody has a different style.
Absolutely.
They teach different concepts. They teach different moves, blah, 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 blah. What's been your experience with that?
All right. Well, shit. For me, I have always been like an authoritarian type kind of guy. And, I like to put it out there and then I want them to just do what I tell them to do. I don't want a bunch of pushback and I honestly don't like a lot of questions as I'm trying to teach. What I would like to do, I pair you up. I give you some simple instruction. I try to make sure that my moves aren't too complicated. I like to keep it simple. I'm the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. And I like to have people work through it. Just work through it. Don't fucking tell me you can add a whole bunch of other things in there or, oh, what if we did this? What if we did that? Don't need it. I just need you to follow my instruction. Believe me, there's method to my madness.
So what style like are you teaching? Are you teaching like different? Are you teaching moves? Are you teaching like systems? Do you have like a certain methodology, or do you have any anything structured, or do you just like, hey, I'm just going to teach this to you? Not. I don't think there's any right or wrong. It just, what do you do? Because I can tell you what I do.
Well, I don't too often like write out a curriculum. If I know that I'm going to teach if I have a series of things that I want to teach, I might set it up and say, okay, over the next 3 weeks, I'm actually going to cover these things. And then I would actually lay it out and say, okay, this is going to go into this. This is going to go into this. And then I try to also make sure that it's something that if someone misses one thing, they can relatively easily pick it up, get into the mix, and keep the party going. So, for me, and I know for you as well, I go more into concepts than individual moves, right? Like we can speak to my day one class, right? Everybody loves my day one class. It's a series of moves and techniques that are almost interchangeable from the position. Yeah. So once we get in there, it's like, all right, cool. This is what we're going to do. Here's how it starts. And if I run through 3 moves that tie into this position on this day, then if you miss the next day, but somebody else shows up and they missed the first one, well, they'll pick up the next 3 moves that tie into this position. And then we just kind of go from there, And then, of course, because we alternate gi and no gi, I also plan it out to say, okay, what's a similar move to this with a gi or without a gi? Yeah.
It's actually hard to teach jiu-jitsu, I think, because there's so many moves, and it's almost like, let's say you have a college course, and some guy just joins in the middle of the course.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what makes it challenging. It's like if you didn't have that, it would be easy to teach. But so I try to teach fundamentals, as you know, right? But
for sure,
fundamentals could be, you could teach a fundamental, I don't know, you could teach a fundamental berimbolo. Like, I don't shy away from fancy moves. No, what I'm saying is I wouldn't go down the rabbit hole with a berimbolo, but I could teach a fundamental berimbolo. It just to show them the concept of it so they understand it. That's not a fundamental move, but you could show them the basics. So I don't want my guys to not know how to play X guard, not know how to play single leg X. At least a basic X guard. They're going to be comfortable with it. That's kind of like my style.
For sure.
I do more conceptual, type of training.
Absolutely. Again, it's the same deal with me, right? Yeah. Like it's the concepts more so than the moves. Like, as I teach like an arm bar, let's say, right? Yeah. Something straight up, straightforward. Boom, here's an arm bar. I don't need a brand new white belt to understand every single nuance of the move right now. Correct. I just need them to kind of understand, okay, this is what you're doing. You're putting your legs over them. You're hugging that arm. You're squeezing it to your chest. As you sit back, you elevate your hips. Like, I don't have to say, okay, like, at least not in the very, very beginning. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to be make sure that it's like his thumb should be up and make sure this and make sure you twist like such and make sure you're holding his arm like a hoagie or do this or do that. That's too much. Like, they're only going to go, detail. It's way too much detail. And they're like, wait a minute, what leg goes over what part of his head? And I'm just like, oh, shit, let's slow it down.
Yeah.
Comes back to the keep it simple, stupid,
keep it
right?
Simple.
Yeah.
So even if you taught like, because I taught like an X guard, I have a whole X guard series that I really like, and I taught it. It took a couple of weeks because it's broken up into different parts. Like you said, they could, if they miss one, they can still, it'll tie into the other portion of it.
Absolutely.
But I still, all of the, either the transitions or the sweeps or the submissions, they're done within 3 moves. When you start going above like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've seen some moves, man, like you got to do like 5 or 6 things. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. If one little thing goes,
Absolutely.
one chain link breaks, the whole thing falls apart. And then here's what's even worse. Sometimes you see that and like, what's the end result? I got a pass.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even get a submission. Like, I did like 10 things and I got past a knee shield or something.
Yeah,
Like,
that shit. I
the
never
ROI
liked
is
that.
not there.
Yeah, I never liked that shit either.
Yeah.
It's like when you have a move that has 5, 6, 7 fucking 7 steps. There's too many points of failure.
Yes.
There's way too many points of failure, and it's just like, and I never want to be the guy to go, all right, well, you did this part, and then here's the second part of the move, and here's the third part of the move. But it's like, the 4th part of the move kind of relies on him doing exactly what the fuck you want him to. Otherwise, that shit's just not going to work. And so I don't do it. I don't become the douchebag and go, well, what about this?
Yeah.
So if somebody's showing something and it's got 57 fucking pieces to the puzzle, I'll just try to go along. I mean, listen, man. I'm not the smartest motherfucker in the world. I'm damn sure not the dumbest motherfucker in the world. But it's hard to follow, 82 fucking steps to a fucking back take.
Exactly.
I'm like, hold on,
Exactly,
man.
yeah.
Hold on. Can't we just arm drag that motherfucker?
Yeah.
I've seen arm drags and they're pretty fast, right? So yeah. Keep it fucking simple, stupid.
And
Just
he
keep
finally
it
gets it
simple.
back and his back game is weak, so he loses it anyway.
And there we go. He's like, yo, but I got the perfect way to get to his back, man. Let me show you this shit. So you got time? Hold on. Fucking, you're like, holy shit. And some people make it look really good. Some people make it look really, really good. But it's just like, dude, you did in 96 moves. See how it keeps going up? Yeah. You did in 96 fucking moves what I do with 1, reach out, 2, pull yourself past. Yeah, that was it. That was an arms drag.
And here's the thing, like, does it work every time? No, but it might work 80% of the time.
Hell yeah.
So I think that's what it is, Harold, is that sometimes people will, those moves that you mentioned with like the 8 or 10 moves, those are the 20% moves.
Absolutely.
It's like,
absolutely.
oh yeah, this will work 20% of the time, and the guy just doesn't know. Maybe if the stars align and he does everything that he should be doing.
For sure. It's like
if
you ever watch freaking Anchorman, what do they tell you? Fucking Sex Panther. 60% of the time it works every time. It's fucking like that, man. Keep your shit simple.
Yeah.
But I also get it. You want to fucking highlight reel, man. You want to highlight reel.
And this is why it's hard to teach jiu-jitsu, because if you just keep everything so simple, then your good solid guys that have been with you and they're developing and they're growing, they expect some cool stuff, right?
For sure.
And that's kind of what happened to me the other week when I was teaching some of the X-Guard stuff, and we had some new guys. We had a bunch of new guys come in, like day 1 guys, and I'm like, yeah, I feel kind of bad, but like I can't change my whole class because I got a bunch of purple belts, blue belts, a couple of browns. Like they've been learning this X-Guard stuff. Like I can't change my whole class for a few white belts that came in.
And you
right?
shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not going to. So they probably thought this isn't basic, which they're kind of right. But it's hard to teach sometimes though.
It is, man, and that's just the shit they have to deal with. Yeah, you fucking deal with it. Exactly. Suck it up, Buttercup. It is what it is. I understand that you walked in and you're kind of getting dropped into the middle of it.
Yeah.
And we talked about this before. If there is no separated beginners group,
exactly,
it is what it is. So you're going to have to just kind of come in, work with them.
Yeah.
You get tossed into the deep end sometimes.
Now, here's what's cool, though. The guys that came in, they were all wrestlers, like very high-level wrestlers. They had wrestled, I'm talking like a decade of wrestling. So
right.
They fit right in. I showed the guy the exercise. Like, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. He totally did the move easily.
Well, because they understand how their body
works.
moves. Absolutely. Yeah. They understand how to move around on the ground. So, yeah, they've got a huge advantage. They've been doing some type of grappling art longer than most of your blue belts and shit. So it's like, yeah.
But we've had the same thing happen where there have been like 3 or 4 white belts, like you're talking the accountants that just come in, they've never done anything, and you've pulled them aside and done like a little private, maybe a little series that you do.
I do.
Then we kind of split up the class a little bit. That's really, I mean, I don't really see a lot of other solutions. It's really,
that's what you have to do, man. Listen, if you want to share this shit properly, sometimes you do have to dumb it down. And it is what it is. I'm cool with that. You know, they say Harold loves the kids. I'm going to make sure these little motherfuckers know what's going on. And by the kids, I mean the accountants who freaking never did shit. Yeah. You know, kids' classes are hard to teach.
Man, I don't think I could do it. I have zero patience with kids.
Look,
I'm not
all right.
children, bro.
I'm terrible. I enjoyed teaching the kids classes.
That's so weird to me.
Because you got to keep in mind, I used to own a daycare, right?
That's weird too. But here's the funny thing, like,
but the kids' classes, a lot of times it's like herding cats, and it's like they're running around and they can't stay fucking focused, and I'm like, I can't cuss at these little motherfuckers, so I was like, I have to still be loud, and every now and again I'm like, sit down, little Timmy, and he's like, oh shit, what? And then his mom's sitting in the corner, and I'm like, well, she's just gonna have to deal with it. She's like, oh my God, you yelled at my baby. Yeah. But when they start to learn, it's awesome, dude. It like honestly, see like the kids classes get it sometimes and they'll go for it. Like when I start having them fight and shit, oh man, they'll go for it.
It is kind of cool watching them though, because they're just using technique.
That's it. That's it.
They're literally using technique.
And then you'll see the ones who actually are like, used to having more discipline at home because they'll pay attention. And they're like, oh, boom, and they're on it. Like that's why we got some of those jokers from our kids class come up to the adult class because they already walking around, got like full beards and shit, but they're only like 12. But but they come in and they kick ass. They paid attention. They actually put it into effect. So I love that.
That's crazy.
But when I say Harold loves the kids.
What's the best age you think for them to start? Ooh. Or not? I'm just not even saying the best. What's the most? Do you see like a common age?
Yeah.
Like
all right.
6,
so.
7?
Yes, I think that 6 or 7 is a lot of times when they show up. I've had people come to the school and they're like, hey, little Billy's 4 years old, 5 years old. And I'm like, hey, listen, bring him on in. Let's see how it goes. My personal suggestion, I think it's a little young. That's young because they're not really going to get the concepts too deeply. Now, there's always outliers, but, I don't fucking deal with outliers. Yeah. So the majority of kids at that age, it's not the way to do it in an organized class. However, if you train and you're even if you're a high level white belt, so even if you're like a white belt who's been trained, you got your stripes and shit, you better than the average bear. So let's say you're in there, you got that, and you would like to teach your little kid to do a little bit of jiu-jitsu. That makes sense to me. All right, get him a little cute ass gi. You're like, you got it for Christmas. Grandma got him freaking knitted him a gi or some shit.
But like, if they're so young, can you even tell if they have like the natural ability or some kind of like maybe some?
Usually no.
Like at what age do you start kicking in? Like your little athleticism starts. I know nothing.
Them little 10-year-olds, man. I think 10-year-olds. Like I watched a couple of kids matches on YouTube and. Dude, and I even watched a wrestling match. This little girl, she brought that fool up in the air and dumped his little ass. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, I'm just surprised a parent didn't run out and say, get off my baby. Like, just snatch that kid up.
You know what I find interesting? I'd say when they're around 14, though, it's pretty even. Like, the girls against the boys is
funny. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Until maybe the boys hit puberty, then it's going to change.
Yeah, well, puberty's a motherfucker. That's, yes.
But they have a later window, right? Because they're going to hit it, like, a little later.
A little bit.
I'm saying if you have, like, an 11 or 12-year-old girl, 11 or 12-year-old boy, it's pretty even. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the girl is better. A lot of times they are, because they mature a little faster.
Dude. So my niece, she's 14. She's 14 right now. She and her little brother, both, they just started jiu-jitsu. I think they just got striped up a couple of weeks ago. Congratulations, Izzy. Nice. And Ethan.
Izzy.
Yeah. I know. We have Izzy too.
Izzy.
Yep.
You know who you are, Izzy.
Well, this is Izzy.
She's like, I'm the real Izzy.
This is my niece, Izzy. And so she was out there and she did a tournament and she kicked some ass and I think she won the gold. I think they all won like swords and shit. Like, yeah, it's awesome. But she's, like I said, 14. And I think she does have to compete. Actually, I think she only competed against little girls though.
Yeah, do they separate at that age? When they're
I think at
young?
that age they do separate them.
Is there any age where they don't?
Yes, the younger ones. Like
really?
I think maybe like up to 10 years old they might not separate. Wow. Damn, I'm gonna have to actually
Yeah,
research
I'm not
that.
sure. Yeah, somebody, if you know, throw it in the comments.
Yeah, if you know off the top of your
Yeah,
head.
kids,
Yeah,
youngins,
shit. But
crumb snatchers.
what's one of the other things? Oh, so damn. Back to when I do my little teaching style, right? Because, people who know me directly, they know I like to joke around. They know I'm a very happy person. Like I walk around, I'm always fucking smiling. I'm happy. Yeah. So we talked about this nice versus freaking friendly.
You're
yes,
friendly.
I'm friendly, but I'm also very happy.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
like
right.
I've got a good life, so I don't complain about shit. I don't cry about shit. It's like I'm cool, and it shows in my teaching style because I'll get out there, I'm talking, I'm cracking jokes with everybody. I try to put people at ease in a place that could be very intimidating, especially if it's their first couple of times trying, right? So, yeah, I hit them with some of the self-deprecating humor where it's like, oh, I'll talk shit about myself. Yeah. But I'll also, right from the door, talk shit about new people and talk shit about people who've been here forever. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you don't want to work with him. They're terrible, blah, blah, blah. Just to kind of get a laugh, get a smile out of them. When I tell stories, in the class, they like that. I always tell people, I'm like, all right, listen, once you do this this X choke, right? You get it, boom, boom. You bring your elbows back, you keep it tight to your ribs. And I'm like, and I'll look over to somebody, I'm like, hey, how tight is it supposed to be? And they're like, what? Now, new guy, they don't fucking know. But people, I know you know, right? But people who know me, they go, tight as a crab's ass. And I'm like, well, why? Because this shit's waterproof. Yeah. They're like, what? Oh, yeah, man. I'm like, crab's ass is waterproof. That's how tight I want your arms to your ribs. Or that's how tight I want your elbows in. And, or if you got this grip, tight as a crab's ass. So, I say funny shit just to have people have a good time.
It's gotta be a little light. I think that's why I liked Gus's teaching when I first started.
For sure.
He's funny. He injects a little humor into it. He keeps it pretty light. He's serious, but he's not so serious to where it's no longer fun. He keeps it fun.
Right. It comes back to it's not bow to your sensei. It's not that shit.
Yeah.
Same with acid, right? Like I always said, I'm blessed to have found that school, and then right behind it when I move to find this school. Like it was perfect for me, both spots, right? So, and then which makes me feel terrible when I hear about people go, oh, I went to this school and it kind of sucked, and oh, this school was just the wrong type of environment for me, and oh, I went over here and I didn't click with people. That sucks, man. Like it's.
Do you hear that a lot, or do you think most people? Because I don't hear it that often.
It's not a lot, but it fucks my head up that it happens ever. Like, because we said before, jiu-jitsu people are pretty fucking cool. They're pretty cool, man.
My theory is I think if you go to a jiu-jitsu place, you're kind of like a blank canvas.
Right.
You're just gonna be molded to the way they shape you, basically. And you won't even know whether or not it's good or bad. And most of them are pretty good. I think most schools are legit. I don't think jiu-jitsu's watered down to not at all. To where
it's not McDojo. It's not McDojo.
No, I had a girl ask me at work, "Which school should you go to?" I'm like, you really don't need my opinion. Just go to the school, check it out, see if you look at the people. Is it like a young guys, old guys? Is it an MMA school? I gave her some general information, but other than that, the jiu-jitsu they teach should probably be legit. It's not going to be,
sure.
We're not at that point yet where there's maybe 1% are McDojos, maybe 5% of all the jiu-jitsu schools, maybe 5% McDojos.
Absolutely.
Maybe less than that. I don't know.
Yeah, like shit. I remember.
That's my own perception. It's based on no fact.
That shit sounds good.
1% is something.
What do they say, man? Like,
there's always one, so I know 1% is safe.
Yeah, for sure. Listen,
that's fact.
I know that this is a proven fact that 85% of facts are made the fuck up anyway. So fuck it. I remember in the academy, I was always talking to jokers, even some of the sergeants and shit. And they were like, oh, yeah, I do jiu-jitsu, blah, blah, blah. And, like, we were doing the defensive tactics and stuff. And I'm like, yeah. They were like, what? Oh, how long you been training? I'm like, I don't know, like 20-something years. They're like, God damn. Right? Yeah. So, they're my boss. And I'm like, hey, so, yeah. It's like, you know your shit. I know my shit. But there was a couple, though, and they were just telling me where they go to these different schools. And there are all these Northern California schools and whatnot. And I was like, dude, yeah, that's a good school. Yeah, that's a good school. Good. I was like, you're in good hands, dude. You're learning from solid people. It's like, I know people here. I know people there. it's a tight community, right?
Yeah, because I've referred people to different schools, and if they happen, to,
Yeah,
like,
if they're in that area,
yeah,
for
like
sure,
they're gonna leave either way, and they're like they have to go.
For sure.
I've pointed them in the right direction based on like I think you'd fit in this culture.
Absolutely.
It's got nothing to do with like, oh, this school has secret moves.
Nah.
No one's school. No, they're all the same.
There's no secret sauce,
Yeah.
dude.
But
There's
I
no
just think
secret
maybe
sauce.
the people here, you would click with you. You know, you're about the same age group. You guys have the same mentality. You'd be a good fit here. That's kind of what I try to do if that ever happens.
For sure. And it was the same even as when people were leaving Hassett's, like, because, like every school, we had, right, and we had people, they opened up their own schools and all, and they do really, really well. And as other people leave, I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, that's a good school. So you really can't go wrong. South Jersey's got a fucking solid jiu-jitsu community. Hell yeah, dude. We got some of my boys out there. Fucking, they're handling their business. You can't go wrong. You can go to a good school, damn near anywhere. I do remember a fucking shit school I went to one time though.
Really?
And I don't even know the name of it or anything. I know.
Like a drop-in? Just drop
I was just there as a drop-in, dude. So I went in. Oh, what was I? A blue belt, maybe? Might have been a blue belt, and I flew out from New Jersey, and I was here in California, and I guess it was out towards the Bay because I was visiting out that way, and. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Look, they were doing their damn thing. They actually at least they were trying. So A for effort.
Well, what was bad about it?
It was a fucking shithole. It was fucking dirty.
So you mean
it was
just
fucking.
But did you see what they taught or?
The fucking moves were okay. Like, dude, I don't know. I think he fucking
man.
gave himself his own belt. I don't know.
Okay, so I got one for you. So, we're talking about McDojos.
Yeah.
So there was a place up here by my house. And I thought I was still going to I think I just got my blue belt. I was like a relatively new blue belt. And it was like some kind of martial arts place. I was just curious. I'm like, I'm just going to go check it out to see what they do. Like I was not leaving my school by now.
Yeah, facts.
I was curious, right? I was all hyped up, right? So I go in there and I talk to the guy and he's like, yeah, so we do like serious martial arts training. Like I'll teach you how to kill somebody with this pencil right here. He used that
John Wick.
Yeah. And then I'm like, well, do you guys do any, I see you guys match, do you do any jiu-jitsu here at all? He goes, no, well, my kid does jiu-jitsu and, he's pretty good and blah, 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 blah. He goes on it. Yeah, he'd probably like tap you out pretty good if you want them. But, I'm like, all right. He goes, well, just come by. You can come by and try it out. So I said, okay, I actually will. Thank you,
All right, fuck yeah.
So like the next day I came by and it was no gi. I didn't bring, obviously I just walked in, just shorts or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the sun is there. And then, I didn't tell you this one. This should have been on straight.
Dude, it's starting to sound familiar, but fucking go,
Yeah.
man.
So
I think you told me this like a long ass time ago.
And actually, this sounds pretty cool though. But he's like, "Yeah, I do jiu-jitsu, man. I train over here and blah blah blah. Yeah, man. If you want to try, we could roll and we could just go right now. We got mats here." I'm like, "All right, man. Let's just do it. I want to see how this thing unfolds." I have my new blue belt. I'm like, "Let me test out my blue belt." Yo, dude. Oh man, it was bad, bro. I like murdered him, but I mauled him so bad. I want to say like within like 30 seconds, I subbed him like 5 times. I'm like, dang it. And you know what I walked away thinking? I'm like, bro, I am like an average blue belt. Because this is, you gotta think, go back to Infinite days when we had our good blue belts. Well, we had like, all those guys were blue belts, right?
Yeah,
I'm like,
for sure.
Yo, dude, I'm just an average blue belt. I'm not even one of the good ones. I'm just average. And I murdered this guy.
Yeah.
I just mauled him. Like, you don't even want me to send the good ones over. It's going to be
right?
so bad.
But
It's
damn.
just funny,
and I always
man.
I want people to get the best training they can. And I also understand that depending upon where you are in the country, there might be some serious scarcity in like who can teach you.
Yeah.
So I get that too. Look, I remember a lot of people were telling me they got their start. Hey, it was just me and a couple of buddies and fucking Gracie in action video and some mats in my garage.
Yeah.
So that a lot of schools have started in people's fucking garages, And yes, they're doing the best they can through interpreting what they learn on a video. And if you've got, some solid instruction under your belt, you're going to go in there, you're going to eat their lunch. And it's still cool that they started because it's a journey, right? If you can at least get their fucking feet wet and it's like, yeah, all right. They go, well, dude, I'm pretty fucking good at this shit. And then if they're humble enough, if they can check their ego
he was actually
after
cool.
he can go, oh shit. It's like, all right, there's apparently more shit for me to learn.
I'm like, well, you still got the pencil thing on me.
Yeah. I can shove this in your eye.
Kill me with a pencil.
Hell yeah.
Got it.
It's like, really though, can you? So, but it's cool that they try. It's cool that they start. And I'll keep it real. If anyone is listening and it turns out that you are in a school or you're in somebody's garage and you're just practicing with some friends and shit, be safe. Be as safe as you can. Don't fucking break anybody's neck. But look for someone who might train at a bigger school, even if it's further away, and see if every once in a while you can just hook up with that person. You know what I mean? If you know somebody, see if they'll come give like a little mini seminar to your guys, just to bring somebody in who's better than you. So there's a concept that people have, which I personally don't buy into, where they're like, oh, if I'm going to learn something, I obviously have to learn it from the best possible person.
You're right.
And I think that's total bullshit. I fucking think it's foolish, right? You don't need to say, I'm going to go to a seminar and I'm going to fucking learn from the guy who can fucking do the flying arm bars better than anybody else, blah, 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 blah. He's the greatest. He's this champ, that champ, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, all right, cool. So how much jiu-jitsu do you know? Well, I don't know shit. I'm day one, man. I just need him to teach me how to tie my belt. Well, you don't need a fucking 7-time world champion to teach you how to tie your fucking belt. You can always learn from just some people who are just a little bit above you, right? Yeah. And I know that's not always a popular opinion because they're like, oh, at least get a black belt. Dude, but you don't need a black belt to show you how to stand in base.
I kind of have a theory in it too. I don't know if I don't want to piss people off, but you know what?
Don't piss them off. I'm not saying drop names and shit.
But okay, here's my analogy. Let's just say you learned directly from Helio. You're like, oh my God, I learned from Helio Gracie. Mm-hmm. Let's say that was possible. He was still alive today and you learned from him. Okay. At the end of the day.
Or if you have a Ouija board, you can still do it.
Okay. So you learned from that's one layer, right?
Right.
One layer. Okay, so who's actually going to be more up to date? A guy that learned one layer from Helio or a guy that learned 10 layers down, but he knows all the freaking Gordon Ryan stuff, all the new stuff.
Fuck it. I'll go.
So it's almost better to learn from the later generation guy.
Well, it is because they've
evolved.
They're doing more. Yeah, but that's if you're learning all the new shit. Let's just say I need to learn to tie my belt, to break fall, to stand in base, to do a judo roll, to do a cartwheel. I need to know how to do an X choke. I need to know how to do a back take, and a rear naked choke.
You said back shake.
I know, back shake, right? Like the fucking Harlem shake and shit. So whatever it is that they're trying to learn, right? They don't fucking need the best guy in the world to teach them basic shit. If anything, and I'm not one to count a motherfucker's pockets, if you got the money to do it and you want to fucking go pay a shit ton of money for seminars on, well, I got it from the best guy and he taught an arm bar. And I'm like, so that arm bar, was it any different than the arm bar that the brown belt at your school could have showed you? Did you fucking get such a good arm bar that you're like, dude, it was worth $1,000?
You know what it's like? It's like Mark Zuckerberg. He hired Michael Musumeci.
Right.
Like the things that Michael Musumeci can do, Zuckerberg can't even leverage those things at this point.
Agreed. But see, now we're also getting back to count motherfuckers' pockets because that's a fucking drop of water in the bucket.
Oh yeah.
So it's okay. So here's the caveat.
Objectively better than he would.
Absolutely not.
Random black belt.
Absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying.
No. But it looks fucking cooler.
It looks cool. But you could take any black belt from any one of these schools and he'd build it up the same way.
He'd have been fine.
Yeah.
He would have been fine. He'd be as good as he is now with any one of our local black belts or any other local black belt from fucking Kentucky or Illinois or fucking Tennessee or fucking Texas. Right. So, but I mean, fuck, dude, if you got billions of dollars, I'm going to fly motherfuckers out to a private fucking island. I'm like, yo, man, we're going to do this fucking jiu-jitsu. I'm going to need you to teach me that fucking Din Mok shit. And then we're going to eat some luau. Yeah, some shit like that. I don't know. I don't think that you have to spend that fucking much. Now, I think I mentioned before that it would be okay to actually just have, little private lessons with people who are a few belts above you. Like if you're a white belt or a blue belt and you know that this purple about to get his brown or this brown belt about to get his black or whatever is actually really good at some shit that you want to learn.
Yeah.
And he might be like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I'll show you this shit. I'll work with you for an hour, $30-$40. Abso-fucking-lutely. Because now you've got somebody who actually understands the moves, who can share it with you for a lot less than the black belt who's like, oh no, that's about $125 an hour.
Yeah.
Or God forbid, if you go to some people, I ain't gonna front. I mean, that's some real money. They're like, oh no, it's like $1,000 an hour.
Yeah.
It's like, to learn an arm bar, motherfucker? Like, well, tell me about this arm bar. It's like, nah, you got to see it for yourself. I need that check to clear first.
It might be valuable if you're like, even if you're like an upper belt, let's say you're a brown belt or something like that, and you want to just get that little niche. So your style is whatever. You do this one move, and you want to hire a guy to teach you who's really proficient at that one style. I could see that.
Yeah,
I
totally.
wonder if black belts do that. Do black
Yes,
belts?
100%.
That would make sense.
Absolutely.
Too. I think anybody could learn from that.
If you've already got your basics down, if you're already better than just having your basics down, and you want to do something that is very specific,
yes,
then yeah, you start seeking out the best people. So this is what I'm saying, right? You go to people who are a level above you, a couple levels above you in whatever it is you're trying to learn.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If you're some joker out there who wants to fucking flip a house and you've never done it before, well, you don't have to go find, Robert Kiyosaki and get the guy who's got who does it the best. No, it can just be a guy who say, hey, yeah, I got 4, 5, 6 under my belt. I'm doing all right. It's like, dude, can you just show me some shit?
But now you become the guy who's got like 12, 13, 14 under your belt. You need to get the next level up.
Exactly. Now I need the guy who maybe buys apartment buildings. Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like, yes, you just keep stepping up. But I'm gonna bring back to fucking jiu-jitsu because I was about to go into real estate shit, right? So if you're a white belt and you say, hey, listen, I learned how to time a belt. I can break fall. I can do this. I got a couple of stripes in. Man, you know what would be really cool? I can't get this scissor sweep and this freaking this waiter sweep down like really, really good. I know this purple belt who fucking hits me with it all the time.
You're good, yeah.
You're good.
You don't need to hire.
Go talk to them.
Yeah.
And now, boom, years go by. You're a purple belt. You killing motherfuckers with this waiter sweep and all this good shit that you learned. And you're like, man, you know what would be fucking cool? That fucking elevator sweep that Harold does or this other fucking sweep. And now at a purple belt, you might have to go, well, shit, I got to go talk to the black belt on this one. I got to go to somebody who's a couple levels ahead of me. He's got this waiter. He can show me the counter to the waiter. He can show me all these other things. I need him to tie this sweep that I already do into something else. So then you start looking at more concepts and setting up multiple moves and shit like that. Yeah, you just.
And I bet you the black belt, there's probably another guy that's his
absolutely.
whole game is predicated on that. And he'll be able to share some of that knowledge with him.
Absolutely. That's when, to me, it starts making sense. Yeah. Now you're like, okay, I need to go to this Ryan Hall seminar where he's showing like the intricacies of this heel hook. Yeah. Because, I got my heel hook game. I'm all right with it. Yeah. But damn, I know he could show me something. I didn't go to a lot of fucking seminars. You know that. We've talked about this.
Yeah. I've been to a couple.
I've been to a couple.
Probably like half a dozen.
Fuck, that's more than me, dude.
Yeah,
now, my seminars used to come during my promotions, though.
Oh, yeah, we did have
So
that.
I did like that.
You're right.
I would fuck with that. I would go to a seminar where if I got a special guest coming in and it's during the promotion period.
I forgot about promos. I've been to a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've been to probably way more than a dozen or so.
Honestly, the ones that resonate with me, the ones that I really remember, there was a Samba one we had. That guy was really good. Then we had Bendy, the knee bar guy. That's legit. Like, all my knee bars, I pretty much copy and pasted from Bendy. Okay. And then, obviously, the Ryan Hall was a really good seminar, too. So that really got me into 50-50. Like,
remember Slick Rick when he came through?
Oh, yeah.
I thought his seminar was really good.
See, I don't remember. What did he teach?
Oh, shit. I don't know if I remember either. I know we went to the bar afterwards. I remember that.
See, you remember that, too.
But then...
But see, I was already interested in those types of moves. I was interested in obviously leg locks. I like the knee bars. I like the heel hooks and all that. So that was something that really, really resonated with me. So those seminars were really valuable to me. And the Samba one kind of fit in. But yeah, but if I remember going to other seminars, maybe showing like darces or something like I don't remember that. Like I mean, yeah, I know how to do it freaking
Right,
darts,
but if
course,
it's not your fucking thing,
it's not my thing. It's not like oh my god, I want to learn the intricacies of darts. That's not my move.
So for me, like again, I didn't like paying for seminars, so I would definitely love going to the seminars at promotions, and I love that Hassett had the scheduled promotions because I know what's going on. The fucking guillotine that I teach, right? Part of my little
Is the
series.
one-handed guillotine?
Yeah, the
That's a good one.
that one arm
I do like that
guillotine.
one.
It's
I could-
fucking
that one's
awesome.
golden.
Awesome fucking guillotine. And I learned it from Stephen Plyer. He has a school. It's out in freaking Delaware. And I've never been to his school or anything. Delaware. That's where I got my master's from Wilmington, Delaware University, Wilmington U. But
Delaware. That's like, are you born there or do you just end up there or do you move?
nah,
do people
motherfucker.
move to Delaware?
Bob Marley used to live in Delaware, I think. Really? Yeah, for a minute.
Like how where you moving? I'm moving to Delaware. Like that's very uncommon.
Hey man, no
You're like,
taxes.
I was born in Delaware.
No fucking income, no sales tax.
You know what? All
Yeah.
the businesses.
Yeah,
are
they use Delaware.
That's what they do. All the businesses. Are
I own
Delaware.
several Delaware
You're right.
corporations.
You're right.
Absolutely.
I think the
Shit,
company I work
IRS
with
don't listen to this.
They're Delaware based.
Right. So
That's the good thing, but that's for a business though.
yeah, no, but I mean, just in general, there are people in Delaware.
Yeah, like 3.
It's like, okay, maybe 3, maybe 4. Enough to at least run a jiu-jitsu school. And it's Elevated Jiu-Jitsu. It's a fucking, dude, it's an awesome website too. I like that guy. So he came in, he taught these classes, right? And this was for my brown belt promotion. And I learned that fucking guillotine. And honestly, it's almost the only guillotine I've done
good. I like that. Okay.
for like the last 15 years or so. I'm like, this is the shit. I love this guillotine. And then I was like, well, is it real? Like, and I saw some freaking I watched some of his competition videos and he was hitting motherfuckers with it. I was like, so he's teaching shit that's legit. But I didn't
Get
pay
it from Mount and from bottom. That's
yeah, and I didn't pay no fucking $100, $200, $300 for a seminar. Would it have been worth it? Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
If I had, so let's say I had gone all the way up through to black belt, had never learned that, and then I see this, and it would have been like, oh shit, this is amazing. But I didn't need that.
Yeah.
I didn't need to spend so much money just for this one intricate thing.
It's for that niche.
Yeah, but like, and me, listen, I give it away for free.
Yeah.
And this is just part of my training. This is just what I do. So when somebody's rolling with us, what do I say? Hey, get this guillotine, boom, lock it up, side crunch, easy money. They love that shit. So what else do you like doing when you teach? Because like I said, you know I'm a fucking jokester. But what about you?
I'm an open book, man. I show everything. Everything I know, I show. And here's the funny thing. It sounds counterintuitive at first, right? You're like, oh, man. In the back of your mind, like, do I really want to show this one? That's like my move, man. I want to show. But you know what? You show it. And here's the funny thing. I've been doing this for a couple years now. And I've noticed that people the move won't work anymore on people because they know it, right?
Right.
But I've adapted and I've come up with something else.
Absolutely.
And that works. So it actually made me better. So, man, you can't be like the guy that doesn't want to share your moves. I mean, you can do it. Go ahead and do what you want to do. But, like, I think you're doing yourself a disservice.
For sure. Don't be stingy.
Yeah, don't be, like, hiding my moves, the secret moves and all that. I
fuck
show
all that
everything.
shit.
Dude, if I'm rolling with somebody and I catch him in a leg lock or something, I was like, yo, dude, this is how I got it. You did this wrong, you did that, or you could have done this, you could have done that. I do that every time out of habit. I never did that before.
Hell yeah.
But... And I do a lot of my stuff is conceptual, a lot of concepts, not so much moves, but concepts.
Right.
And I do a lot of like flow. It's funny, it's coming from me. Flow roll. Let's roll light. No, but I actually do. You know what I learned from, who's the guy? Marcos Tinoco.
Okay.
He's a Brazilian guy. He's legit. I like this guy, man. I follow him. Check out his page, man. He's pretty good. And he got me into this. It's like you do one move. So let's say you're gonna grapple, but you just do one move, but the other guy lets you do the move. So if you're in close guard, you knee slice, get to side control. You stop. Then the guy on the bottom, he doesn't escape, he stops. That's 1-on-1.
Right.
And then you do another move. You do one, you stop. Then he does one, stop. That's actually legit. It makes your jiu-jitsu a lot better. What it does, it completely eliminates the athleticism and the physical advantages you have on somebody. And somebody's like, oh crap! Like what I do, it exposes your weakness, man. It does. And then what gets better is now you go 2 and 2, and then you go 3 and 3. It stops at 3.
Okay.
But it's actually really challenging because like, oh yeah, okay.
So you were doing this the last time we were at a class, I think, or well, not the very last time, but I know the last class I saw you teaching, you actually put that into effect. Yeah.
I like that, man.
That was
shout
really
out to
good.
Marcos Tinoco.
Yeah, that's good shit. No, that's cool though. See, and here's the thing, right? Once again, it's just show up to your regular class.
Yep.
I mean, we have all these instructors out here in the world, and again, I'm not trying to fuck with anybody's hustle. I'm not trying to mess with anybody's money, but it's like
You mess my money.
I know, right? If you've got these instructors and you have all these people at your disposal, right? You've got people who probably would love to help you. They want to see you do well. They want to see you kick ass and take names. And they probably won't charge you an arm and a leg. So if you've got the money, like I said, go for it, man. Fucking make it rain. Make it fucking rain. But if you're going to be a little bit more conservative, you want to hold on to a couple of your bucks, but still learn, talk to just your local people. Pay attention to what your teammates do, because I know that I can go to a bunch of our teammates and I can learn some good shit.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's more likely than not, every other school has the same situation.
Everybody has the same. There's always that one guy who's good at this particular move. Hey, I'm gonna go see what's his name for this move.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah, man, just fucking get out there, practice some shit, talk to your surrounding people, man. These are your homies. These are the people who they probably have your back.
Yeah.
So lean on them. Lean on them. Ask them for help. Be willing to share, though. Don't go in there just as a fucking taker.
A lot of guys don't.
I know. Don't
But
be.
I don't blame. If you're like a purple belt or somebody, I don't think I shared anything at purple. I'm holding my cards to my chest.
Well,
You're trying to be a tap collector at that point.
and I will say this,
Brown is when it changes a little bit. You need to be a little more artistic.
try to do it earlier.
It probably would be better. No, it would
Try
be better.
to do it earlier.
I agree.
Because, don't be in competition with your own school.
Right there, what you just said, that's what it is. Don't be in competition with your teammates. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
man.
got guys like that. I'm like, yo, dude, like, we're not competing. Number one, I'm on your side. We're the same school. You want to compete? Wait till a guy from another school comes in, then you could try it out on a guy that doesn't know anything, right?
Eat
Or
his
he doesn't
fucking
know your
lunch.
game, right? You're like, I'm a 6-year-old guy. You're like a 25-year-old dude,
Right?
And we're at the same school. Like, there's no reality where we'd ever be competing. So like
True.
that would never ever happen. So like save that. Just go to another school and do all that. Get the frogginess. Get that out of another school.
Absolutely. No, totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
stupid.
So, yeah. Work with your team. Don't try to hurt your team. Without your fucking teammates, you ain't shit.
Exactly. It holds you back. It actually hurts you.
Yeah. You hurt your fucking teammates, and all you've done is made it harder for you to learn. So be cool.
We
Be
got a
smart
pretty good
about this
school. I would
shit.
say we don't have a lot of guys like that. We're pretty solid.
No, dude.
We're
I
pretty
said
solid.
I feel blessed to have hit the 2 schools that I
Yeah.
like. I know there's a lot of people. Look at Shorty, man. He's fucking been to school after school after school, and he still has to because he travels so much. But I've only been to 2 schools long term, and the first one was 13 something years, and this one's been like 9 years. So I'm really fucking blessed by
You're a
that,
long-term
man.
employee.
Yeah, exactly. I want my fucking pension.
Yeah.
So
Want
if
some
you
shares.
if you do find that school, if you find that location, feel happy that you've been blessed, right? Like, take that shit, enjoy that shit, let it be important to you. Oh shit, right?
Why is that?
Because if it's important to you, you'll find a way, and if it's not, you'll find an excuse. So find a way to get in there, train with your friends, be good to them, treat them right. That's all I got to say.
Be nice to your training partners.
Be nice,
You don't want to be the guy like, nobody rolls with me.
right? Don't be an asshole.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Hey man, if you guys like the video, hit the like, hit the subscribe, share it out with your buddies. We really appreciate it. And I think that's all we got for today, but we will definitely be back at you guys next week with another one. And in the meantime, us.
Peace.
So you can tell me you can play that right now.
Fuck yeah. But I'm still recording this shit.
Okay.
Cause now we go.
Oh, yeah,
we can look
yeah.
at. I can do. I can like take the sound away and make it look like we're.
Are you telling me that? You could literally play it right now.
Yeah.
No chips or nothing.
It's already fucking ready to go.